What's up, guys? So, as soon as I can get my hands on a deal with the Jagex Corporation, I have a couple key things that I want to do with RuneScape. Is I want to create a real life auction house so that you can make real money farming things on RuneScape and trading between other players. And that will be great for people that can't normally make money in the countries that they're from, like Venezuela. I live in America, and Trump just basically kind of like fucked with Venezuela a little bit, and the citizens of Venezuela are probably being lied to about what really happened. What really happened is Venezuela has been bringing drugs into America, and basically we don't like that shit. Drugs are illegal here, so they kidnapped the president of Venezuela, and is like it had nothing because he kept allowing this shit, I guess. And basically, we haven't touched the new president, but it was nothing personal between like the people of America to the people of Venezuela. I don't know what the fuck the government does, or any country that has a problem with America. You know, we don't know or care what the fuck the government is doing. It's just like, we had a terrorist attack called 9/11 back in 2001, where they killed like a few hundred or a few thousand people, the people from the Middle East, and ever since then, it's been kind of like, I don't believe in like that. I understood ever since then that people live and people die, and in life in general, you always have to be ready to fucking die. It's like, if death creeps up on you, you don't want fear to be the last thing that you fucking feel. It's like, you gotta stay cool, calm, and collected when it comes to your opinions of like your mortality. And it's just a tip from America: is the government is doing whatever the fuck they want, and we as probably like the 90 other than the YouTube corporation like spying on my video. I'm just kidding. The government probably does like do stuff like that. I don't know, and I don't care. And quite frankly, if I knew, I wouldn't. I'd probably fucking lie my ass off about that shit. But it just probably like, I can only imagine that like, if some fucking 12-year-old kid can hack into your RuneScape account, probably, the government can see what you do in your Google search. So, well, the United States invented the fucking internet, so United States invented like inspired like most of the shit that we know and love that we have in the world today. And the United States finally did a bad thing, and they fucked with Venezuela for bringing drugs into the country. To me, I have like a very high like system of morality, and like, I don't steal. Venezuela's a bunch of fucking thieves, as far as I know. They're bots on RuneScape. They sell drugs. It's fucking bad business, I like people. I like Venezuela. On behalf of the people of America, it's like, it's not my problem, and what's that got to do with you, But we are basically working on a real life auction house for RuneScape. So that people can make money playing RuneScape, and there's gonna be like a more like a mo better like bot bot banning system, maybe to like reintroduce trade limits, test that out, and like perfect the system of like the real life auction house and the trading system so that bots can't really easily exist in the game. Or another thing I want to do is basically another thing I want to do is basically create like bots where you could do things like certain things like fish for lobsters or something, and even like fish for sharks, like with a harpoon, you know. It's like really slow, but like overnight you could set your character to like fish for sharks. For like $100 you could buy this bot, you know, that'll run your character for you. Like that would be actually fucking awesome, you know. You don't like not to gain like experience. Experience is like kind of an arena where like maybe if you use the bot, you kind of just gather the resources. Kind of got to tiptoe around that one, but like Jagex provided like scripts for us to like fish for lobsters or fish for sharks or chop down like willow trees. Keep it very minimal and not anything where you could really truthfully like get ahead just because you have more money in real life. Bonds is about the best it's going to get when it comes to that, and we're never going to sell experience ever again. Playing and getting 200 mil all skills on RuneScape. And getting like 200 mil all skills on RuneScape is like a feat of accomplishment. So you shouldn't be able to like purchase experience with real money, but bonds, I think you should always have a way to purchase like in-game wealth with real life money, you know. Uh, so yeah, pretty much, you know, maybe or maybe not, you know, I have some pretty good ideas of what we could do in RuneScape. I want to create a like a blueprint of like create your own private server where people can create their own like version of RuneScape. And you know, if you create a server that gets really popular, you will get like maybe like $1 or $2 from every user's like subscription, or have like, depending on how much playtime they have on each server, you know, you get like a cut of the membership fee. I want to reduce the cost of membership to like back down to like $7.99 a month. RuneScape membership should really only be like $5 a month. $5 sounds good to me. You know, I have so much fucking money that we don't have to monetize every fucking aspect of Jagex. And And pretty much, I don't agree with RuneScape community's basically fucking voting system. I think people typically are too stupid to know what they want. It's gonna be $5 a month for membership. We're just gonna keep developing the fucking game until everyone is happy. But RuneScape is always gonna be a game of like slow but sure progress to become a fucking god at the game. And yeah, like being a high level RuneScape player is like a big fraternity. Like once you max your account on old school, you're officially in the fraternity of high level players and have like Infernal Cape and like max gear and everything. You're like in the club, and then you've got like PvPers and PKers. We're just gonna cater to. I want to like help, with what my great fucking ideas, and we're gonna remove the monetization aspect. We're gonna remove the monetization aspect. Uh, uh, and but pretty much membership fee should be, I think, like, well, you're at like free to play, maybe like expand free to play and create like a monetized version. And at the end of the day, I want to like return RuneScape to the original developers and the people that have contributed so that their families can make money and have like basically MMORPG style video games are the better life. If you play RuneScape, you have a better life than like the average person that lives like a standard life, working a job, paying bills, going home and like popping out a couple kids. If you have RuneScape in your life, or like World of Warcraft, or like another like an MMORPG, it's a necessary aspect to a perfect life. And I personally play RuneScape. And I personally play RuneScape. So, I really want to like return rights to RuneScape to the fucking like people that we know and love. That the original Jagex from like 2007 was like the fucking Illuminati. That was the watchful eye in the sky, making sure that everyone was having a good time. That's what I want to bring back so bad, is care. You know, RuneScape nowadays is not being created with like as much care. We gotta make the best player experience as possible, and it's all for like one thing, you know, is to be like a fucking beast, you know. To get good at RuneScape takes years, and if you get good at the fucking game, you have the respect of everyone below you. So every new player that comes into the game, the game naturally weeds out the people that aren't meant for the game, and then the people that do get good at the game are like fucking gods. You know, so RuneScape to me is not about magic and dragons as much as it is about like a alternate kind of like fantasy adventure reality of killing like fucking dragons, you know. People play Skyrim and want to kill the fucking dragon, but people talk shit about RuneScape because there's fucking dragons. And this all comes from Dungeons and Dragons 30 years ago, 40 years ago, or whatever. It all comes from this game called Dungeons and Dragons, where that game became known as a game for like fucking losers. And people tend to believe that people that play RuneScape are like fucking losers, and that's not true. I love RuneScape. I get it. I love the game. I'm not just, I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying, I'm not like someone trying to make money from the game. I just want to work on the integrity of the game for the user experience. I want to expand free to play to make it a more playable game, to make it easier to achieve a bond for your membership, so that when you get a bond, then you could like eventually in the course of like a year, you could start like other people from other countries and stuff can play RuneScape like for their daily bread, you know. For like a lot of people, like, you know, 50% of the world lives on like less than $1 a day, you know. So, you know, RuneScape could probably do that, you know. And, you know, yeah, I mean, is like whatever your favorite fucking game is, you know, this video should spark the idea that we're gonna create a real life auction house for every fucking game, where people that don't have a whole lot of money can play a fucking video game and contribute to other people that actually play the fucking game. Well, and that's bullshit too. So while we work on like making everyone rich, RuneScape is gonna work on a real life auction house. So I finally almost made a bad, not too smart idea there. So I think my brain works pretty good. I go schizo all the time, which means I go crazy and hurt people and break stuff and shit. But I'm real smart, you know. So I've got a great mind for doing important shit. So let's fucking keep the ball rolling on this. And let's someone get a hold of Jagex so I can fucking actually start helping develop the game. Or Jagex, just hear our comment with your RuneScape ideas of what you think a good idea would be. The key term is final form. We want to work on the final form of RuneScape. A final version so that we can lay everybody off pretty much with a pension. We're going to lay everybody off. Or you could still show up to the fucking office and just sit around. Or you could sit around at home with like a pension. And, and, and just like main contributors to the fucking game, I'll give you money, you know. So let's fucking do this shit. I've got money. The people that own Jagex should watch this video and like try to get this around to the people that own Jagex. I've got like a lot of money, pretty much like over pretty much $1 billion worth of assets. And I just want to be able to influence the game moving forward. So if you don't like my idea to create a real life auction house, to create like Jagex sponsored bots that you can collect certain items like overnight and gain like a 10% experience, or like the dream is to like move your way up. You can have no money, but you move your way up in the game to be able to afford eventually the fucking bot that makes money in your sleep. So you make like like $1 in 8 hours while you sleep, and so, and then create your own private server kind of thing sponsored by Jagex to allow people to host like their favorite version of RuneScape or their ideal version of RuneScape, and then we'll have like an allowance of, like, if people choose to play private servers, we'll have like an allowance of like up to maybe like $1.50 out of the $5 subscription charge to should RuneScape cost money? I think so. Let's pay the fucking Gower brothers. I want to like buy the company back from the firm that currently owns Jagex, and basically give it back to the Gower brothers, and I'll pay like almost like any price except my life to acquire like I don't know, to be able just to buy a vote in Jagex. I think I have some pretty good ideas, and then if you don't like my ideas, as Jagex sometimes says, we're never going to monetize experience. You can't buy experience for money, but maybe there should always be a way to buy gold for money. Real life auction house, build your own private server. Jagex sponsored bots to make money in your sleep at the highest levels, Highest levels, like a standard level would be to make like $1 in 8 hours while you sleep. And to pretty much, kill the bots and if you don't like my ideas, pretty much those are like my 5 ideas. and not gonna fuck with anything else. Final form of RuneScape, a standalone version of RuneScape. We're gonna lay off all the people that work at Jagex and give them a pension, so they could sit at home and like play World of Warcraft. Or I truly believe that 90% of the people that contribute to RuneScape don't really play RuneScape, and they don't get it or give a shit about RuneScape. I'm a lifelong dedicated RuneScape player that just so happened to come into a lot of money. I don't just play a little bit. I play like as much as I possibly fucking can. If I could spend my eternity doing one thing, if I was like going to hell for all eternity, if I could choose like one thing to do with my life before I just like burn in hell, would be to like be a god at RuneScape, you know, to be like, to beat RuneScape and to be like, you know, a legend on RuneScape. And also, you know, probably to be rich and like drink all the time. But God told me I'm not going to hell, so that's pretty much really good. So since I'm not going to hell, I'll be here developing RuneScape and making RuneScape videos. Thank you, God. Thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you, God, for the everything that I have. You know, the money, you know, doesn't mean as much. We both know that it's really nice to have it compared to not having it, but having it is not that big of a deal. When just wanna again, you know, give myself over to you, Lord, and allow you to configure and decide, you know, again, what we're gonna do with the with what we've got here, because it's not mine, it's yours, Lord. So and thank you guys for watching the video, and gonna probably like smoke some tobacco, brush my teeth, and go to bed. So again, you know, I'm sorry. I'm from America. You know, I know a lot of Venezuelans play RuneScape and do like even like shitty activity on RuneScape. It's like, I forgive you, you know. But basically, don't forget that they were bringing like drugs into the country, and it was never anything between the people of America versus the people of Venezuela. It's like a fucking government thing, and I agree that I don't want drugs in the country, but I think there's better ways to handle that than to fucking try to put all of us at risk. Like, I would have been very happy to sign up to be like DEA, to like take the drugs from the people trying to smuggle them into the country, rather than like to become like a fucking part of the military draft and have to like fight for my life, you know, based on like a needs-based basis versus like a wants-based basis. Is I did apply for the military when I was 17, but they rejected me because I didn't meet the health requirements. But like, if I go to war, I'd like to go to war based on like personal choice, not because the government wants to make brash decisions. You know, there's better ways that we could have handled that. Quite frankly, you know, for a long time now, people that we go to war with keep like holding our soldiers like hostage and stuff. So finally, we send a message to the rest of the world and kidnap the motherfucker that's sending drugs and shitty business to our country, and then fuck them in the ass. And It's like, you know, if you don't like that, then suck on my chocolate salty balls.